when a wounded human soldier crash-landed on a quiet, neutral planet deep in the Outer Rim. The locals faced a choice: help him and risk retaliation from powerful alien factions, or look the other way. They chose kindness. No formal alliance. No call for reward. Just a simple act of mercy. They didn't know his name. They didn't ask questions. They just saved him. What happened next changed everything. Within hours, Earth's most powerful fleet emerged from subspace, dozens of warships, carriers, and dreadnoughts descending from the sky without a single demand or declaration. They weren't there to invade. They were there to honor a debt. No one had ever seen humanity move so fast, so decisively. For one man. And that's when the galaxy realized something terrifyingly beautiful. When you help a human, you don't just earn gratitude, you earn protection. Relentless, overwhelming, and absolute. They helped one wounded human. Earth responded with an entire fleet, and no questions asked. The crash, the atmosphere of Myelera shimmered in hues of violet and burnt gold as the dying sun dipped behind the mountain range. A calm, neutral world far from the bustling galactic highways. Myelera was home to peaceful insectoid beings known as the Vari. They were agricultural by nature, tending to biocrops, maintaining weather-balancing towers, and rarely interacting with off-worlders. They stayed away from politics, war, and everything the galaxy had grown to fear. That peace was shattered when a streak of fire tore across the sky. A human escape pod, trailing smoke and flame, screamed through the clouds and crashed just kilometers from the Vari settlement of Trelhaven. When the villagers found it, they didn't know what it was. The hull was scorched. The door had been forcibly blown open. Inside was a bloodied, unconscious human in partial armor, clutching a shattered communicator. His name was Lieutenant Ryan Hawley, a reconnaissance officer from Earth's Exploration and Peacekeeping Corps. Shot down during a deep space skirmish, Hawley had drifted for days, lost in the void, until gravity claimed him. The choice. The Vari were not ignorant. They had heard of humans. Some whispered stories of a powerful species with unmatched loyalty, vengeance, and emotional ferocity. Others claimed they were over-glorified primates with technology too advanced for their temperament. But when the Vari healer, Jenny Trell, scanned Hale's vitals and saw how close he was to death, she didn't think of politics. She thought only of saving a life. With careful hands, she administered a regenerative serum, sealed his wounds with organic weaves, and rebalanced his oxygen levels. "He is one of the Deathworlders," said Elder Velm, watching cautiously. "Are we prepared for what this means?" Johnny didn't look up. "He was dying. We helped. That is all." Signal received unknown to them. Hal's communicator, though shattered, still emitted a pulse. A biometric failsafe had activated. One of Earth's orbital satellites picked it up and flagged it with the highest priority tag, code red, human down. Within an hour, the alert reached Earth's Lunar Command Station. General Adriana Voss, head of Fleet Response Operations, was in a briefing when the alert pinged on the main screen. She paused mid-sentence, stared at the coordinates, and whispered, "That's one of ours." "Should we initiate diplomatic contact with Myelera?" Aster A. Voss didn't hesitate. "No. Prepare Fleet Group Orion. Launch within 2 hours. Full deployment. No questions." Awakening Ryan Hawley awoke 2 days later in a warm chamber lit by bioluminescent crystals. His injuries had stabilized, but pain still throbbed through his limbs. A soft humming came from a nearby Vari device monitoring his vitals. A young Vari child watched him from a distance. When Ryan stirred, the child scampered away and returned moments later with Johnny. "You are safe," she said, speaking fluent galactic standard. "You crashed. We treated your wounds." "Why?" Ryan asked hoarsely. "You didn't know me." She tilted her head. "Because you were alone and hurt. The fleet arrives on the 4th day. The sky above Myelera changed. A rip in subspace shimmered like a second sun. Through it poured Earth Fleet Group Orion 72 ships strong. War cruisers, medical frigates, heavy carriers, and diplomatic escorts. They entered low orbit silently, casting shadows over the Vari plains. The Vari trembled, many hid. Others watched in stunned silence. Then came the voice, broadcast in all frequencies. To the people of Myelera, you cared for one of ours. We are here in gratitude, not in war. General Voss herself landed in the central meadow of Trellhaven, flanked by unarmed soldiers and medics. She requested to meet the caregivers. Johnny and Elder Veln approached cautiously. You aided a human, Voss said simply. Earth does not forget kindness. No questions asked. What followed was unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Earth deployed mobile clinics, infrastructure upgrades, and planetary defense satellites as gifts. Not as leverage, not as coercion. Simply in response to an act of mercy, the Vari were overwhelmed. We didn't expect this, Johnny said. We only wanted to save a life. Exactly, said Voss. And that's why we came. Across the galaxy, this event shook empires. The Rithan Syndicate halted its raiding campaigns on neutral worlds. The Vorkari Dominion, longtime skeptics of Earth, opened their first diplomatic channel in 50 years. Even the Galactic Trade Union issued a statement. Earth's response has redefined what it means to protect one's own. A universe changed in time. Myelera became a symbol, not of conquest, but of connection. Delegates arrived, aid poured in. And above it all floated the unshakable truth. A peaceful act, when met with overwhelming gratitude, creates ripples far beyond the stars. Ryan Hale, once a nameless soldier lost in the void, became the bridge between Earth and Myelera. He chose to remain on the planet after recovery, assisting in diplomatic outreach and humanitarian logistics. The Vari child, who once sat beside his bed, became Earth's youngest honorary citizen. And every year, on the day the fleet arrived, both worlds remember what started it all. A stranger helped without hesitation. The aftershock in the capital world of the Lorvani Ascendancy. Ambassador Rin watched the Earth broadcast with narrowed eyes. The images were clear. An entire human fleet dispatched for one life. The Meloran fields were now lined with solar fences, atmospheric filters, and medbays bearing the Earth insignia. This is no coincidence, he muttered. It's strategy in compassion's clothing. Across the galaxy, leaders scrambled to interpret Earth's actions. Was it diplomacy? An intimidation tactic? Or were the humans simply different? In the halls of the Galactic Council, the Meloran delegation was invited for the first time in their history. Their story was retold again and again. The message spread not by Earth's mouth, but through the mouths of the inspired. Reflections. Ryan stood beside Johnny on the 10th day after his recovery, watching young Vari play near a newly installed water purifier. Back home, we train for survival, strength, speed, tactics, but they also teach us this. Never let kindness go unanswered. Johnny nodded, watching her people with quiet pride. And now you have returned it tenfold. No, Ryan replied. This isn't repayment. This is just the way it should be. Above them, the ships of Earth slowly began to depart, one by one, leaving behind resources, technology, and perhaps most importantly, a lasting alliance forged not through contracts or battles, but through decency.